On Saturday, July 19, 2025, the Dover and Rockaway River Railroad made an unexpected run down the High Bridge branch while switching out the Kenville team track in order to run 5303 around the consist. Interestingly, this extra's consist also contained equipment for Operation Toy Train that was usually stored at Kenville. Anyway, buckle up as we follow this rare weekend run on the High Bridge branch on the KV-1X local.
150, 40, 30, 20, 10.
In the lead of today's KV-1X is DRRV 5303, an EMD GP38-2 originally built as Penn Central 8118 in February of 1973 and inherited by Conrail under the same road number in 1976, and then by Norfolk Southern in 1999, being renumbered to 5303 and painted in the Thoroughbred scheme from 2002 to 2012. In 2012, it was repainted to a special Operation Lifesaver version of the Horsehead scheme. In March 2021, it was sold to Chesapeake and Delaware and continues to run for the company to this day. We start our day at Flanders, an unincorporated community in Mount Olive Township, New Jersey, at the location of the depot where CNJ passenger trains would stop for Flanders. The Extra is operating on the remaining portion of the former Central Railroad of New Jersey's High Bridge branch, which formerly ran all the way to High Bridge with both freight and passenger service. The portion between Mount Olive and High Bridge, which was ripped up in 1980, is now the Columbia Trail. Next, we stop at Cary Road in Roxbury to watch the train fly by, traveling at track speed, 25 miles per hour. Finally, we see the train crossing Route 46 in Kenville as it approaches its destination, the Kenville Team Track. The crew of KV-1X now switches cars around at the end of the Kenville team track near Fairmont Junction, having dropped the Operation Toy Train equipment over by the small yard where 5303 is stored next to the siding for Blue Ridge Lumber. The crew had needed to bring the train to Flanders for exactly this purpose, running 5303 around the consist at Flanders in order to make this switching work easier. After spacing the two sets of cars out to organize them for interchanges and deliveries next week, the crew moves 5303 back onto the main. The locomotive will now back down to the yard and shove the Operation Toy Train equipment into the storage area and tie down with it to finish the day. And that'll be a wrap for today's odd and unusually timed run on the Highbridge branch. The Operation Toy Train equipment was in front of some of the cars that needed to be moved for a while, so I think that's why they came along for the rides. They could be put back behind 5303. Either way, it was interesting to see some freight activity here on a Saturday, something very rare indeed. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and God bless you, and have a good day.